Round 2 of the NBA playoffs is right around the corner. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you the New York Knicks advance to the Eastern Conference Finals if. I'm going to fill in that blank on today's show and tell you how they get there. But first, I want you to answer it before I give you the answer. The Knicks will beat the Pacers if blank. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what the New York Knicks have to do if they want to advance past round 2 and go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 20-plus years. Look, this is not going to be an easy series. I know there's a lot of people out there discounting the Indiana Pacers. They're a good basketball team. You don't get to the second round of the playoffs if you are not a good basketball team. But they are 100% beatable. And I believe the Knicks are the better team, and that's why I think the Knicks are going to win in 6 games, maybe even 5. But the number one most important thing, and if the Knicks are going to beat the Indiana Pacers, they need Jalen Brunson to be the best player in the series. And then also that includes that he needs to outplay Tyrese Haliburton. From now on, if the Knicks are going to win playoff games and win playoff series and maybe an NBA championship, you need Jalen Brunson to be the best player on the floor. Because with the injuries to Randall, because the injuries to Bojan Bogdanovic, you are a much, I would say, less deep team. You only go about 7 deep now. So you need your stars to shine the brightest. So let's take a look at some head-to-head stats between Brunson and Haliburton. Let's start with the 3 games they played this year, as the Pacers did go 2-1 in those ball games against the Knicks, but OG Anunoby did not play in any of those games. Brunson against the Pacers this year averaged 35.7 points per game on 49.4% from the field and just 31.6% from downtown. JB didn't shoot all that well in round 1 from deep. I want to see him knock down that long ball a little bit higher of a consistency. Haliburton, he stuffs the stat sheet, and we know that. This year averaged 19.7 points per game and 12.3 assists. He is the engine to their offense. He controls the show. He is the guy that gets people the ball in their spots. You look at the totality of the regular season stats, Haliburton averaged 20 points, 10.9 assists, and just 2.3 turnovers. Brunson out-edges him in the points per game. We know Haliburton, more of your maestro type of point guard. Brunson, more of the type of guard that's going to slowly kill you with mid-range jumper after mid-range jumper. You look at what both point guards did in round 1, and Jalen Brunson was sensational. I mean, if you would have told me that the Knicks would get 35.5 points per game on 9 assists and 43% from the deck from Brunson, I would have said, yeah, that would be insane. And he went out and did it. Haliburton averages just 16 points in round 1. He didn't shoot the ball all that well from distance either. And he really hasn't shot the ball well from 3 since the All-Star break. He's been a little bit dry from that department. Jalen Brunson needs to be the best player in this series. And when he does that, he'll outplay Tyrese Haliburton, and the Knicks will win it. Who's the better point guard, though? I want to hear from you. You rocking with the kid, JB, or the fake all-star, Tyrese Haliburton? Because that's what he was. Don't forget Jalen Brunson. They chose him to start in the All-Star game over you. Don't forget that. The Knicks beat the Pacers if OG Anunoby. Like, if OG Anunoby shows up, and OG Anunoby does what he does, the Knicks are going to win this series. A little bit different. I think the actual value of OG Anunoby is going to shine brighter in this series. Is he capable of guarding Tyrese Maxey? Yeah, it's a really tough ask for him, no doubt about it, especially when you're going to run off screen after screen after screen. But OG's defensive value is shown the most when he is asked to guard a wing. And Pascal Siakam is the wing that he will be guarding. Former teammates. You think these guys have ever played one-on-one? You think these guys have ever gone at it at practice before? You think OG Anunoby knows the moves of Pascal Siakam? He does. Siakam was really good in round 1 against the Milwaukee Bucks. And OG will be the guy that is thrown on him and expected him to slow him down and make life tough for him. Siakam loves to put pressure on the front of the rim. He loves to attack. He doesn't shoot the outside shot all that well. He likes to get out in transition, get those easy buckets, and attack. He wants to put pressure on the basket, and OG is going to be tasked with slowing him down. 22 points in round one for Siakam on great efficiency. OG was great in round one, though, too, even though we didn't necessarily see the type of defense he was able to put on display, which he can. I think we will in this series. But I want to continue to see OG Anunoby be aggressive on the offensive end. I don't think that there's a guy that can keep OG Anunoby from the rim on the Indiana Pacers. We saw him attack Embiid. We saw him do all those type of things. When Miles Turner is under the rim, rise up and throw it down like you did on Embiid in Game 6 at the Wells Fargo Center. If OG Anunoby can find a way to average 15 again, while also making life tough for Spicy P, Knicks are going to be in a good spot. Another reason I think the Knicks will win this series is the glue guys show up. And our glue guy out-glue guy their glue guys. And I'm looking at the Villanova boys, not named Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo. If you can get another 17 and 5 and 12 from Josh Hart in round 2, you're going to be advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. Am I expecting Josh Hart to shoot 43% from 3 again? I'm not. But you know what? I'm not going to doubt him because he looked ready to play all series long. I'm also expecting Dante DiVincenzo to be better than he was in round 1. I need Dante DiVincenzo Game 6, DiVincenzo to show up for every game this series. He's going to get better looks. They're going to load up on Brunson. Way less defensive-minded team are the Pacers compared to the Sixers. So, Devo, you get that shot, step into it, be confident, and take advantage of the opportunities you're going to get. And also Deuce McBride. I'm throwing him in there as a glue guy for the Knicks. How could you not? He was sensational in round 1. Only 3 points. Only 3 points in Game 6. But those 3 points were huge. Brunson sat for 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, and Deuce comes in, steps up, hits a freaking dagger of a 3 off the screen. He was awesome. 11 points per game in round 1, 48% from the field and 43% from 3. But our glue guys of McBride and DiVincenzo and Hart have to outplay the glue guys for Indiana. Yeah, it's Miles Turner and it's Siakam and it's Haliburton, but they go as these guys go. Nembhard, really good player, and he's becoming one of the best-kept secrets in this league. Aaron Nesmith shot better than 40% from 3 in the regular season. Struggled in the playoffs, but these two guys can knock shots down at an extremely high clip, and when they are playing well, and they play well alongside Siakam, Haliburton, and Turner, the Pacers are a really good basketball team. So we need our glue guys to outglue their glue guys, and I'm looking at Hart, DiVincenzo, and Miles McBride. I've got 2 more major talking points to bring up if the Knicks are going to win this series, but I also got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. The NBA playoffs are here. The second round is almost underway, and there's no better time to get hooked up with Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stat line. Get hooked up with Prize Picks. It's a lot of fun. You can win some money by picking more, picking less. Turn your hoops knowledge into some dollars. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. The Knicks are going to beat the Pacers if they can slow down the pick and roll, pick and pop offense that the Indiana Pacers want to operate in. We are going to see high screen and roll, high pick and pop, spread the floor with Tyrese Haliburton and Miles Turner over and over and over again. You know, the last time the Knicks played an offense that spammed high pick and roll over and over and over again, it was round 1 last year against the Cleveland Cavaliers. At some point, Tom Thibodeau is going to come up with a game plan to slow that down. But it's going to take some adjusting because we know Tibbs loves to live in that drop defense. What is drop defense? It's when your big that is guarding the screener quite literally drops into the paint to offer defensive help on the ball handler that is attacking the rim. When you do that, that leaves you susceptible to get beat in a pick and pop. And that is where the Knicks have been somewhat hurt this year. We saw that against the Boston Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis has had some pretty good games this year against the Knicks, and we've also seen Miles Turner in the past. I think this might be more of an Isaiah Hartenstein series than Mitchell Robinson series because I just think he's a little bit more disciplined on the defensive end around the perimeter. I think he moves his feet a little bit better, and I actually like him on Miles Turner in those pick and pop situations. Turner has had some success for the Knicks, and you might be asking, these are stats since 2020. These are Miles Turner's stats since 2020 against the New York Knicks. I chose that year because that was the first year that Tom Thibodeau became the head coach of the New York Knicks. And we've seen Miles Turner have some big games against the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau as the coach because of the way that they play defense. They run that drop defense. It allows Turner to get some clean looks off the catch from the top of the key and knock down some threes, averaging 14.1 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, knocking it down from the field at 51.3% and 40.3 from downtown. Turner has had games of 25 points, 22 points, 28 points, and 23 points. He also has games where he's made 3 3-pointers, 7 3-pointers, 3 and 6. So Turner has had some really big games against the Knicks. It's going to take Tom Thibodeau to adjust the way that he does play defense. The Knicks will also beat the Indiana Pacers if they get back on defense. We know that Indiana wants to run. They want a gun. They operate at one of the highest paces in the league. That is the way that Carlisle wants to play basketball. Very reminiscent of Mike D'Antoni back with the Phoenix Suns, 7 seconds or less. They believe if we get more possessions and if we get more shots on the rim and we could take more threes, we're going to win. And it is a true clash of two vastly different styles. The New York Knicks, when it comes to pace, which is the amount of possessions per 48 minutes, the New York Knicks were last in the regular season at 95.9. The Indiana Pacers, 102.1. The second fastest pace in the NBA. You look at the postseason, though. You know in the postseason the game slows down. It's more of a half-court offense, and you really have to grind out possessions. The Knicks tied for the worst pace in round one with the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Indiana Pacers, they were tied for the 9th pace at 92.8. So you see a major drop-off in the way that they played, in the speed, and the style of that. The Knicks need to dictate the pace of this game. These need to feel like New York Knicks basketball games, not Indiana Pacers, AAU, run and gun, up and down type of games. You control the pace, you limit the possessions that they can operate in the fast break, and the Knicks are going to be in a really good spot to get to the conference finals for the first time since 2000. It's going to come down to your starting five, though. It really, really is. The Knicks are right now not a deep team. You don't have Bogey, which is someone that I think you're really going to miss in this series. I think you're also obviously going to miss Julius Randle. Like there's no debate in that. But you've got enough. You've got enough to win this series. Maybe Alec Burks needs to play a couple of minutes. Maybe Precious Achiuwa needs to play a couple minutes because I don't really love the idea of playing just 7 players all postseason long. I know Deuce and I know Mitch will play, but I also really hope that Tibbs will expand that rotation just a little bit. You got to slow them down. It's a high-scoring offense. There's a reason that all of their starters averaged over 11 points per game in the playoffs. Haliburton is a good player. He is. Turner's a good player. Siakam's a good player. Nembhard is up and coming. I really like his game. He's probably going to be the primary defender on Jalen Brunson, picking him up 90 feet from the basket. Aaron Nesmith, I'm a fan of his game as well. He got out of Boston, and he really started to become the player that a lot of people thought he could be. But in the playoffs, it comes down to the little things. And the little things that will be big in this series. You need to dominate the offensive rebounding for the Knicks. You have to win that department. You need to turn the ball over less than them because turnovers against the Pacers turn into run and gun fast break opportunities. Limit your turnovers. And I'll say it one more time. Make your clutch free throws. Because if you do not make your clutch free throws this postseason, we might just be having a different host on this channel because I'm not sure I will survive. Who do you got? Who do you got? Getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. I can't believe we're doing it. Knicks, Pacers. Who do you got? Make sure you are following me over on social media at @MarshallGreen_ on Twitter, as well as at @MarshallGreen_ on Instagram. I'm getting giddy just thinking about it. Monday. I better see all your beautiful faces there because we'll be live. So make sure you are subscribed.